Nancy Oliver Gray was named the 11th president at Hollins University in 2005. The Vanderbilt graduate earned a master's degree in education from North Texas State University and received an honorary doctorate from Presbyterian College. Previously a vice president at Rider College and at Princeton Theological Seminary, Gray, a Dallas native, was president at Converse College in South Carolina for more than 5 years before coming to Hollins. She professes a strong belief in liberal arts and in the need for women's colleges. Since arriving at Hollins, President Nancy Gray has spearheaded major fundraising campaigns, introduced new majors, and renovated campus buildings, doing it all with energy and enthusiasm. President Gray, welcome to the interview.
Thank you, Gene.
Nancy, I guess it's been about, about 7 years now since you've been at Hollins. What attracted you to this opportunity in the first place? Had you even heard of Roanoke, for one thing?
Well, Gene, I had always heard about Hollins growing up as a child in Texas.
Really, in Texas?
In Texas. I'd heard about Hollins' strong academic reputation, its strength in creative writing, the strong faculty, its commitment to liberal arts, its commitment to women's education.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really looking for a job, but I was so impressed by the alumni and the community leaders who served on the search committee at the time, that I thought, gosh, I want to work with phenomenal people like this. And that clinched it for me. Plus, we were really attracted to the Roanoke Valley. I love this community. It's a great place to live. So that combination of the strength of Hollins' reputation, the strength of the community, the opportunity to work with really smart men and women, and the opportunity to live in the Roanoke Valley did it for me.
You came in, you put a 5-year plan in place.
That's
you wanted
right.
to do a number of things. Some of them, you wanted the undergraduate experience, which is all women, to include leadership and leadership development, creativity, environmental and cultural sustainability, and a global understanding. Are these some things you think are lacking in college students sometimes, maybe a connectivity to the outside world?
Those particular hallmarks that we identified in our strategic plan, leadership development for women, environmental sustainability, global awareness, and creativity across the curriculum, were things that we thought were particularly distinctive about the liberal arts education experience at Hollins. And we've been really committed to those 4 hallmarks and made great progress. For example, in the area of leadership development, through the generosity of Jane and Frank Batten, we now have this wonderful Batten Leadership Institute, where we work with students who, regardless of their major, and these students major in all kinds of fields, have the opportunity to earn a certificate in leadership studies by completing a sequence of courses rooted in the liberal arts disciplines, as well as skill-based courses. And the premise of the whole Batten Leadership Institute program is that good leadership starts with self-knowledge. If I really know myself, then I will be able to make choices, develop skills, place myself in situations that are consonant with who I am. So we work with students on self-assessment, skill development, learning how to work with teams, learning mentoring skills, communication skills, conflict resolution skills, and are really preparing students to be leaders. In addition to that, we've really focused on our internship program. You know, people right now are really concerned about how are kids in college going to get a job. Is this liberal arts education worth it? You
know, in this technology-based world, does a liberal arts education sometimes get short shrift?
We think it does. Right now, in the General Assembly in Virginia, in the federal government, there is increased conversation about the jobs that college graduates get, so that people can feel like this is worthy of my investment. At Hollins, we believe the very best education we can give a young woman is a liberal arts education. In this world today, we are dealing with such rapid change, rapid technological change, truly interdependence globally, with something like 40% of the jobs that will exist 5 years from now not even in existence right now. So how do you prepare a student to succeed in a world characterized by that kind of rapid change? We believe it is teaching them to think critically, to communicate well, to solve problems creatively.
So you're not too narrowly focused.
To learn. Right. Exactly. That way they're prepared not just for the first job, but for every job, including the last job, and they're prepared to live a whole and fulfilling life. At the same time, we recognize we need to help students connect with their learning to opportunities in the world of work and the broader world. So through our internship program, we are giving students that opportunity. And they have the chance, if they think they want to go to law school, to try it out.
So they're interning with a law firm?
Law firm, medical firms, vet firms, banks, nonprofits, hospitals, the UNC Press, Estee Lauder in New York, UBS Payne Weber, Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, United States Supreme Court. Extraordinary opportunities that allow them to say, that's why that microeconomics class was important. Now I see it. Or, I thought I wanted to be a reporter, but that's not what it's all about for me.
I don't think I like writing stories at midnight with an editor breathing over my shoulder, right?
Exactly. We had a great example of a student who thought she wanted to be a doctor and did an internship with a medical practice. Came back saying, practice of medicine isn't what I thought it was. She then did an internship with the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta and found out her passion was really research. After graduating from Hollins, she won a fellowship with CDC and is now finishing up her PhD and preparing for a career in research. That's the kind of extra advantage that an internship opportunity gives our students. So we're all about liberal arts as the best preparation in today's world.
I'm sold. Has it been traditionally harder for women to even seek a leadership position? I mean, are colleges like Hollins, like a women's college like Hollins, are they trying to get more of these young students to seek leadership positions and to be comfortable in that position?
Absolutely. Even though the glass ceiling is cracked and there are more opportunities available to students, to women today than there had been, women are still not holding the leadership positions. If you look at the number of female CEOs of the Fortune 500 companies, it is very, very small. The number of women in partner track who stick with it in law firms, very small. So we're trying to help women see themselves as effective in leadership positions, not just in the field, but in the leadership position and what we're trying to do at Hollins. I was struck by a recent study at Princeton University, completed within the last year, in which they compared the leadership roles held by their males and held by their female students at Princeton University, and found that the men held the leadership positions in the most influential, powerful student organizations on campus. And the women tended to be president of the service club, less visible, less influential organizations. At Hollins, that won't happen. Every leadership position is held by a woman. Every single opportunity is available to women, and they begin to see themselves in leadership roles and begin to push themselves to go beyond their comfort zones, take risks, and develop leadership abilities to handle conflict so that they're well prepared to compete in a co-educational graduate school or workplace setting.
I know you're a strong proponent of single-sex women's colleges. Maybe not for everybody, but for a certain segment. Why are you a proponent, Nancy, of single-sex education?
Jean, you're right. I don't think women's education is right for everybody, but it's sure right for a lot of women, because there women find their voices. They gain clarity about who they are, what it is they want in the world, and then those voices are empowered. I have the privilege of meeting high school girls when they first are looking at Hollins and knowing them as they graduate and go out into the world. And the confidence that is gained through a liberal arts education in an all-female setting is second to none. Regardless of whether you start here or you start here, I see women every day growing in self-confidence, finding their voices, claiming their voices, and using them. And I don't know what better gift we can give a young woman than that.
I wanted to ask you about the environment. Environment is a big thing with you. I know you've helped sponsor recycling programs at Hollins, and you actually instituted an environmental studies major. And talk about environmental issues, environmental sustainability, and I guess it's also one way that a Hollins student can get connected to the world also. Talk about your commitment to the environment.
You're right. A second focus we've had in the last few years has been our commitment to environmental sustainability. We were one of the first colleges to sign the American College and University President's Climate Commitment, in which we pledged to try to attain carbon neutrality. And we were very pleased last year that while our goal had been to reduce our carbon consumption by 3%, we reduced it by 9%. We're proud of our new major in environmental studies. We're proud of our students' leadership and initiative in starting a recycling program for Roanoke County on the Hollins campus. We're proud of our collaboration with other community groups, including the Greenways. We will be just early April, a group of volunteers from Hollins and the community will be cleaning up a greenway that will go from the Hollins exit off of 81 to Carvin's Cove.
Is that part of the Tinker Creek Greenway?
So it will be.
Okay, it will be eventually.
We're very excited about that. So it should be available for Roanoke County residents beginning this coming fall.
Awesome.
But that's part of our commitment to this community, to environmental sustainability as well. Our students even initiated a green fee in which they assess themselves $5 a term. That money is pooled and then used to support one of our initiatives as we try to embrace and implement our environmental sustainability agenda. For example, the funds right now are being used for a greenhouse that will support a student and faculty-led community garden. And we are actually using some of what they are growing in the community garden right now in catering at Hollins. I had a dinner last week where the salad had been grown in the garden at Hollins.
Can't get much more local foods than that.
Really can't. It's all about that.
Wow. I wanted to ask you a couple other questions. We have a few minutes left. You instituted a major fundraising campaign.
That's right.
And you came aboard, which far exceeded the goal of $125 million. Were you surprised by that? And how are you using that money?
Gene, I wasn't surprised because one of the extraordinary things about Hollins is the commitment of our alumni to their alma mater because they feel like their education made such a difference. So you're right, we started out with a $100 million goal, raised it to $125, and ended up over $160 million raised. This is the largest fundraising campaign of any Southern women's college, and we were delighted with that kind of extraordinary response from our alumni and friends. Their generosity also placed us in the top 10 colleges and universities in the country in terms of alumni donations per student. The impact of that has been primarily to help us build our endowment. At the start of the campaign, our endowment was around around $80 million. At the end of the campaign, our endowment had grown to about $153 million. So we almost doubled the endowment during the campaign period. And that money will be held and grow in perpetuity to sustain academic excellence. A second objective of the campaign, besides growing the endowment, was to help us preserve and maintain our beautiful historic campus. Hollins is the oldest women's college in Virginia, founded in 1842. And many of our buildings were built around the turn of the century. In fact,
the last century.
The last century.
Right.
In fact, construction on our main hall started the very day that Virginia seceded from the Union in the Civil War. So old buildings require care and nurturing, as do students today require an investment in contemporary learning resources. So during the period of the campaign, we were able to renovate our old library, is now the Witherell Visual Arts Center with our fabulous Eleanor D. Wilson Museum. We've been able to redo the Beale Garden in partnership with the Garden Club of Virginia. We have redone the Presser Music Building, Turner, which is an academic building. We're in the midst right now of renovating our little theater, and it will be air-conditioned for the production of Good Old Girls that opens April 13th. So we've been very grateful to the generosity of our donors, made that possible.
You mentioned the Eleanor D. Wilson Museum. It seems like what Amy Moorfield's done there at the Eleanor D. Wilson Museum and the staff, and also Todd Ristaw's playwriting program, it's one way that Hollins has been connecting to the community, outreach to other art institutions, that type of thing. Was that part of a plan?
It's very intentional. Gene, first of all, we have some of the finest programs, especially some of those that you've just named, in the country. And we very much want to be partners in the Roanoke community and for everyone in Roanoke to see us as a place where they can come to attend our plays, our art exhibits, to hear our readings, and we very much want to extend that invitation to people in the Roanoke Valley and hope that you'll see us as partners.
Yeah, I know you're going to put another strategic plan together. How does the future look for Hollins in the
We're
next
in the
5 years?
midst of taking it to the next step. We're in the midst of a new strategic planning era, and I think we're going to really focus on connecting the liberal arts education to the world of work through enhanced career opportunity development opportunities for students, including internships, career advising, and mentoring, being sure our curriculum is as strong as it can be so that students are well prepared academically. We're also going to be looking for new programs that will meet the needs of the community, of the adult learner, as we consistently work to be sure that we are meeting the needs of our students, providing the very highest caliber liberal arts education, while also meeting the needs of the growing adult population, including lifelong learners in the Roanoke Valley.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. President Nancy Gray from Hollins University, thank you for coming on.
Appreciate this.
This is The Interview. I'm Gene Marrano. We'll be right back.